guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be discussing some insights on agric as usual, but today I'm not alone. I have a guest. I have somebody to share some insights with you. Yeah, so this is Fidelis. We have here Fidelis today. Fidelis will be introducing himself to you guys. Yeah, Fidelis, so our viewers.
My name is Fidelis Wenapia Akedam, the CEO of Northman Farms.
Yeah, so can you tell us a little about Northman Farms? What does Northman Farms do? What do you do at Northman Farms?
Okay, Northman Farms is into crop production and animal rearing as well. Currently we do maize, soybean, rice, granite.
Do you just do production or you equally do processing and all of that?
Yeah, we do processing as well. So actually from the field, we make sure we thresh our produce and also clean them and bag them well. Apart from that, we also liaise with women processors around to process our goods into finished products.
Oh, nice. All right, so we'll talk about that one later.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that one later. Today, I want us to talk about land preparation. I want us to tell our viewers about land preparation because I got people asking me questions about land preparation, and then also I get people complaining about farm yields. And I think land preparation has a direct impact on our field yields. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah, so I would want us to delve a little into land preparation to educate people, educate young farmers, people that are getting interested in agriculture, so that while they come into the space, at least they already have the knowledge to be able to equip them to do the right thing from the start. Unlike you who learns the hard way and you learn from your mistakes and also from your own research.
Yes.
Let's give people the opportunity to tap a little from your wisdom and from your knowledge. So I want to find out, what factors do you consider when selecting a field for a type of crop?
Okay, so with the type of crop, determines the fields we look for. So let's say when we are going with maize, we look for fields that are sandy loam and are well aerated. Then when we talk about rice, we look for soils that are clay loam because rice needs soils that can retain more water for its growth.
Okay.
Yes.
So are you saying that I cannot just go and look for any field and start planting my maize? I cannot use probably a field that was used for rice last year to go and plant my maize?
Maize, no. Okay. When you use such a field, like say a rice field, that's like a valley, a very low land for maize. Yeah. Water will take over the field, and with a lot of water, maize wouldn't grow well.
How about soybean?
Soils for maize can be used equally for soybean.
Oh, okay.
So mostly it's still the sandy loam or gravelly loam. Yes, that's what we look at. And on our fields, we actually do crop rotation. So we plant soybean this year on this field, maize on the other field. The next year we do the reverse, like we rotate. So we take the soya to the maize field and the maize to the soya field. This is done because soya actually is a nitrogen fixation crop. So it fixes nitrogen to the soil, and maize needs a lot of nitrogen to grow. Great. So that's why we do that.
Great. So that's the reason for the crop rotation. So it
yes.
means that where you plant the soybean, it improves the soil health.
Yeah.
And then you plant maize the following year.
The following year.
Oh. So when it comes to tilling your land or plowing, as most of us know it, what would you advise is the right time to plow when the season is about to start?
It depends. We actually advise that you plow when the rain is setting, because the soil needs to be moist for you to plow, because when you plow, when the soil is still hard, you put much stress on your machine. So we advise that when the place is moist, and we know we have planting calendars as well, like so with that you are able to follow that to know the time to plow and to carry out the other activities even before planting, because it's a whole chain.
So basically, should it be 1 month before you plant? Should it be 2 months before you plant? Or, you know, because when you say when the rain is setting, probably I want to plant maize, and then the rains have set in May. Is that the right time to start plowing for maize?
This is quite relative, because some farmers just plow and plant. So with that period, you have to just do the plowing maybe a week after, then you plant. But let's say with other farmers, like what we do on the field, we actually plow and harrow. So you can plow in a week, you harrow, then you plant.
Okay. Talking about harrow, why do you harrow? Why should I harrow why should I spend more money trying to harrow my field after plowing?
So harrowing is very important. We actually advise it because it helps with weed control, and it also levels your field for planting. So mostly we do our plowing, then for some time, we wait for some time, then we do the harrowing. Because when you plow, it kills the weeds. Storms start springing up again. So the harrowing comes to deal with that before you plant. So it helps reduce the weed population on your field.
So are you saying that's the reason some people struggle with weed control on their field, because they do just plowing, don't harrow?
Yes.
So the weeds regeminate.
Regeminate, yes. And as you actually said, when you plow and you don't plant immediately, you can plow and in 1 week you come to meet weeds all over the field.
Wow.
Yeah, so when we are in the rainy season, weeds grow very quickly. So what we advise is plow within the period you just want to plant.
Okay.
So it makes it easier for you. So let's say you apply your chemical, you plow, then you apply your chemical after planting.
Okay.
It helps subdue the weeds for some time.
About chemical before plowing. What chemicals are we talking about?
Before plowing, it actually depends on what is on your field. Okay. If your tree stumps are growing again, we have a chemical called color help that we use for that. If it's just for weeds, then we use the condemn. That's like glyphosate. Actually.
Yeah, that's what
we use
popularly known as
condemn. Yeah, we use the glyphosate for that. So when you use that, when there's moisture and you use that, it actually kills the weeds before you plow.
Okay.
And when you plow, we see it as the ground has been distorted again. Yeah. So that without distraction, weeds will try to grow again. Yeah, so it's with that we follow up with the harrowing, give the field a level ground before we are able to proceed with our planting. There's also a way that when after planting, we now apply the glyphosate again. Immediately after planting, a day after planting, you apply the glyphosate.
That's the condemn. Again.
And there's another chemical called storm. It's actually, we call it sealing. Because when you apply it, it actually holds the ground for some time. So it prevents weeds from emerging. Yeah, for even up to, sometimes it moves up to 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or even up to a month.
So when it comes to soil health, how are you able to manage your soil health and soil amendment during plowing or land preparation?
Land preparation. What we do, after harvesting, we leave crop residue on the field. We leave it.
Talking about the
stovers,
dry plants.
Plants, yes. Even after threshing, the chaff from the crops and everything is left on the field.
You don't burn it.
We
like
don't
other
burn it.
farms.
It's left on the field.
So the popular practice is that we mostly burn it.
Burn it, Burning it is not bad in a way, but it's more or less
because it brings potash to the
soil,
isn't it?
Yes.
So is it a bad practice?
It's not a bad practice, but we also think there are some living organisms on the field that when the burning takes place, it actually kills them too. So,
so the microbes.
Microbes,
so the microbes enhance the soil health. Okay. So what do you do at Northman farming?
So what we do is when we leave it, when we are plowing, we plow it in. Okay. So in plowing, we actually instruct our operators to do shallow plowing because the topsoil of our fields are very rich, of even every field. So mostly we don't go too deep.
Okay.
Yes, shallow plowing to just turn the topsoil so that all the residues and everything on the field is turned evenly with a small portion of the soil to keep it rich. So when that is done, then we follow up with the harrowing.
Oh, okay.
And the crop residue is very good because one, it helps with soil erosion.
Okay.
And apart from that, it helps maintain the soil moisture and temperature, making it cool for the plants to grow well.
So basically, it holds moisture in the soil.
Soil,
right?
yeah.
So that means that during drought, the plant can withstand drought for some
period,
time.
yeah. So that's why you can go around an area where you have several farmers. You get to some places, the crops are dying, and some crops are still surviving. That's what. Some farms are doing well, and others are struggling during drought.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it means that the practices you take from the start, from your land preparation, affect the whole cycle.
Yeah, it's a whole chain.
Wow.
So from beginning to end, you just don't have to miss a step, and you have to do everything right to get good yield.
Indeed, farming is scientific.
It is.
Scientific. When it comes to climate action, we are concerned about the use of chemicals on the field. The use of herbicides, weedicides, and all of that on the field. What is Northman Farms doing to reduce the use of these chemicals?
This is a difficult question because in the farming we do here, sometimes it's quite difficult to do away with the chemical component. So what we at Northman do, one, is to make sure we get our measurements right. So we don't do 1 acre, 1 bottle, 1 liter of condemn. We actually look at the level of the weeds, everything, then we come up with good measurements in order not to stress the field. Another thing we do, we use manure, and in using the manure, it reduces the amount of fertilizer we use.
Integrated soil fertility management.
Yes, basically. So that's what we do. And also, apart from that, the crop residue I spoke about enables the soil to retain water. So that's why we employ that as well, so that to help maintain the moisture in the soil. So these are the few things we are doing. We are currently also trying to explore another technology, use of biochar. So our agronomist is working on it. We are trying to create our own biochar. That's just burning these residues into this biochar, then we spread it on our fields. So these are the climate sustainable practices we are employing in our fields. That is the list we are doing at Northman.
So the usual practice is that when farmers realize that there's a lot of weed on their field, they increase the concentration. To kill the weeds, you want to just murder the weeds. So you increase the concentration.
Sometimes it works. It actually works. It's good. But like with that, you're also burdening the field.
Yes, that's climate consequences. Because when this happens and then there's a downpour, it can easily wash down these chemicals into water bodies, which will come back to us, then we drink, or to somebody in another community, the person drinks, or even kills the living organisms in the water bodies. Okay.
And also with that, we are actually encouraging researchers to do more on that sector, because we think more can be done on that sector, so that we reduce the use of chemicals on our fields.
One thing that excites me about Northman Farms is your level of consciousness to climate change. And the last time I was even discussing with you, where you're talking about exploring irrigation because of climate change, the effects of climate change on our weather. Right now we are unable to predict the rainfall pattern and all of that, which is affecting a lot of farmers. So these are some of the things I'm really impressed about, and then I'm hoping that you will spread your knowledge to more young people that are interested in agriculture. Thank you for coming. Thank you for interacting with my viewers, and I hope they have learned something and will continue to learn from you. But one last thing before you go. What one thing would you want to tell the youth who are interested in agriculture yet do not know how to start?
I wouldn't lie to you. Farming is becoming very expensive, and it's more or less. So when I hear that's part of the youth getting into farming, it's good. It's good. I would just employ you to start small and scale up. Start small and scale up. So you plow back your profit, then you can scale up from there. It's doable. We have done it.
Great.
And you can do it. So it's just more or less like you go with that.
Intensification. He's talking about intensification. Let's do the right practices. Small piece of land.
Yes.
5 acres. Let's do the right thing. Let's plow. Let's harrow. Let's take out the stones. Let's plant in rows. And let's minimize the use of chemicals in our fields. And this would enhance our crop productivity. So I think you have said it all. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
And,
thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
We'll see you on the next episode.